Hello there, welcome to Courageous Consciousness. I'm DJ Gallup, and this is the second in a series of videos that I'm doing called How to Be Married to a Humanitarian. And the thing is, chances are you're probably not married to a humanitarian yourself. But I think some of what I'm talking about in this video is useful for almost anyone who's in any sort of long-term relationship. So if that's you, you might want to stick around. But anyway, what I wanted to talk today about is the feeling, the emotion of resentment. And the reason I wanted to talk about this is because especially if you have a spouse like I do who goes away for long periods of time, does work abroad, resentment is one of those things that can really start playing a role in your relationship. So, it doesn't really matter. In my case, of course, I'm married to a humanitarian, but you know what? Maybe you're married to someone who's in the military, or maybe you have a partner who works abroad for business or something like that, and they're just away, or maybe they're, a long haul trucker and they're just away a long time. I think it's very natural when you have a partner or a spouse who's away for so long, eventually you're going to start getting a whole mix of emotions. And some days you'll feel really good. Some days you'll feel really happy and supportive of your partner. And other days you will feel very low and you'll feel overburdened, overwhelmed. And at that point, I think resentment kind of kicks in. And I know for me, over the years, having Rashawn, who goes away for 6 months or 9 months at a time, I know that I, over time, have felt waves of resentment. I would never say that, it's occurred for a very long time, but I know that, usually when resentment comes, it comes as like a very big, powerful wave. And I know for me, having taken time to meditate on it over the years, I can say for me that I think of all of the negative emotions that you could experience, of grief, fear, depression, things like that. To me, resentment is the emotion that wears away at me the most. To me, it is the most negative emotion for me because it really eats you up from the inside out, if you will. And so while I was thinking of making this video today, I said, well, let me go online and find a definition for resentment. So what the actual dictionary definition is resentment is bitter indignation at being treated unfairly. And I kind of thought that definition was okay, but kind of incomplete, because it's not just, resentment isn't just about me and me feeling like I was treated unfairly. To me, when I'm resentful, it's something that I am projecting onto other people. And unfortunately, in the past, it's been my husband, Rashawn. So what I will say is when Rashawn is away, when he's away for these 6 or 9 month periods, really and truly, I try to come to things from a place of love as much as humanly possible. I genuinely enjoy being a loving and supportive husband, especially, when my partner's away and needs support from me. But sometimes those feelings of resentment start coming in. Sometimes I'll start feeling lonely. Sometimes I'll start feeling overwhelmed myself. And at that point, those waves of resentment start kind of flowing in. And so what I'll say is the last time I really felt resentful of him was in the middle of 2018. We had just agreed that we were going to start building our house, the tiny house that we live in here. And we had just signed the contract for it. And he had gotten a call to go do a short-term exploratory mission. I won't say where, but he was going to do a short-term exploratory mission somewhere with Doctors Without Borders. And certainly, we're in the middle of building a house, which is an overwhelming time. And of course, I was already working full-time, very, very tiring as a massage therapist. And we needed to have a substantial down payment. We needed money for other things. He had just kind of recently started a new job, and he took off time from that brand new job to do this mission. And I was feeling so resentful of him. And over time, that just went from bad to worse because those waves just kept getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And it was certainly affecting me And certainly my resentment of him began to really affect him, and he was beginning to emotionally shut down on me. And it felt terrible. The whole thing felt terrible because I don't want to feel resentful. That is certainly not a good feeling emotion for me, but it was just the one that was the most prevalent at the time. And as much as I really tried to work with that feeling and to kind of squash it down, it just kind of kept propagating itself. And so I really spent some good time meditating on the subject. And of course, what I figured out over time is that the only way to counteract resentment is by coming to things from a place of love, a heart-centered place of love. Now, do I always love when Rashawn's away for 9 months at a time? No. I mean, would I prefer him to be home? Yeah, that would be my preference. But what I do now is when I start feeling those feelings of resentment bubbling up from inside of me, those waves, starting to crash over me, I very, very quickly as I can, I try to catch myself in that emotion and I stop it right away. And I bring love to the situation. So whenever I am starting to feel that, bubbling up of resentment, I just take a moment, I realize that it's happening, and then I just start bringing love into the situation. I start infusing love into the situation. Because what's really happening is I'm just feeling like I'm being treated unfairly, but am I? No, no. And I really love that he loves doing the work that he's doing. I really appreciate the contributions that he's making to the world. And so what I'll try and do is I step back and I'll just do a very good heart-centered meditation, sometimes just as simple as placing my hands right on top of my heart. And I really just let love come into my body and just gently sweep away that resentment. And so if this is happening to you, if you have a partner or a significant other that sometimes you're feeling resentful of, just remember that emotion it's such a harmful, useless emotion. Not only is it, harmful, but it is going to eat you up from the inside out. I mean, resentment is just this really awful emotion to feel within your body, and it certainly gives you all sorts of feelings of stress. I think it really affects your sleep. So why would we want to live that way? Certainly, the best thing we can do is try and catch ourselves in the moment of feeling resentment and just kind of taking a little bit of a detached step back and saying, how can I bring love to this situation? And once I do that, and once I start feeling my connection with the heart center, and once I start feeling my resentment has worn away, at that point I can actually actively send out love to him. So I think that that is such a powerful thing to do too, is just, transforming one emotion into another emotion. And certainly you just can't go wrong with love at all. So never forget that, bringing love to the table, even if your situation is imperfect, just bringing love to the situation can really help heal a lot of, troublesome inner emotions that you are feeling. And you can connect to your heart center at any time. It's just as simple as taking a detached step back as much as you can, finding a comfortable place to be where it's nice and quiet, and just coming into your heart center of love for you and for your partner. So anyway, I'm going to leave it there today. Of course, I love it if you guys will leave a comment, hit the like button, and of course hit the subscribe button. I'm making videos Monday through Friday now, so I really appreciate your watching. Come back, see me tomorrow. Have a great day, and namaste to you.